Into the final sets of games now over in the Africa Cup of Nations, with some countries already through to the tournament and some big boys on the brink of elimination, who of course will complete the deal this coming match day. We'll take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again on our prediction video today. It's all about match day number 5, that's right, in the AFCON qualifiers, that's right, with some big boys already through, some big boys could be eliminated. And we'll take a look at those in a second. Of course, if you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for AFCON right here under one Rooski. Of course, Tunisia, they look pretty good right now, but they still need to seal the bloody deal, as do some of the other big boys as well. We'll take a look at it in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs, the patrons, and a big shout out to the members. You know who you are. But anyway, let's turn the clock back to the last round of games and bring you bang up to date. Alrighty then, folks, let's turn the clock back to those last matches, which did take place over in October, that's right. And here they are, with my picks on the left, the real deal was on the right. And some, pretty good predictions by myself, I must say, because I am the prediction king. Burundi, they lost to Burkina Faso. Called it, lads, called it. Meanwhile, Gambia did pick up a victory over Madagascar with a 1-0 win. I got that one spot on the nose. Meanwhile, Algeria with a 1-0 win against Togo. I won with a 2-0 win, but it was a 1-0 win. Ain't too shabby. Liberia did lose to Equatorial Guinea. I got that one wrong. Sudan did beat Ghana. What's gone wrong with them? Oh, my Lord. Meanwhile, Ethiopia did lose to Guinea. 3-0 winners on that one. Guinea-Bissau could only draw against Mali, 0-0 in the end. Mozambique picking up a monster away winning at Eswatini, 3-0 winners. I went with a 1-0 win. Cameroon did beat my boys Kenya, 1-0. Goodness gracious me, not happy with that. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe beating Namibia 3-1. I went with a 1-0 win. Tunisia did draw with Comoros on the road. Got that wrong. Meanwhile, Lesotho did lose to Gabon 2-0. I went with a 1-0 win. Morocco putting 4 past the Central African Republic. I went with a 2-0 win. Egypt picking up a 1-0 win over Mauritania. I went with a 2-0 win. It was just a 1-0 win. Botswana picking up a monster 1-0 win over Cape Verde. I did go with a draw. Rwanda beating Benin 2-1. I went the other way. Libya against Nigeria was postponed, cancelled, whatever. Don't know what's going to go on. Don't know if that game will actually ever be played. Meanwhile, Nigeria, they lost to Angola 1-0. Called it, lads. Called it. Meanwhile, Chad lost to Zambia. A lot of away wins knocking around here as well. Sierra Leone pick up a 1-0 win over Ivory Coast. That's a shocker right there. DR Congo beating Tanzania 2-0 winners. We've got Uganda beating South Sudan. Congo drawing with South Africa, Bafana, and Malawi losing to Senegal as predicted, guys. So those were the last round of games over in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, and these are the tables right now. And as you see it, Tunisia got still work to do to get through. Top 2 go through, remember, but 2 games left, so 6 points still on the table. Morocco, they are already through, done and dusted, cannot be caught, or at least they cannot not qualify. So they are there. They can take it easy, as could Egypt as well. They're there with 12 points so far. So lots of work to be done still with the remaining spot. Gabon's in the driving seat in Group B. Gambia still got a work to do as well. Over in Group D, Nigeria look close, but they're not there just yet. Getting there, but could be joined by Benin next time. Meanwhile, Algeria, they're through as well with 12 points, have a possible 12. Equatorial Guinea looking in control for the second spot right there. Angola are there as well with 12 points. Sudan could join them. Ghana have got to basically win both their games and hope for a little bit of luck. Otherwise, they're not even going to be there, which is unbelievable. Meanwhile, Ivory Coast are in the driving seat, not there yet, but close. Zambia also could be joining them. DR Congo are there. Guinea could join them as well. It looked like they're going to be in the mixer as well. Mozambique, close as well. Mali, also very, very close. Guinea-Bissau, though, ain't giving up hope just yet. Eswatini are out. Cameroon, they look set to be there. I think they technically are there. Kenya would have to win both their games. And I think they have to play Namibia one of them games, so probably not. Uganda look good, and they could be joined by South Africa, but Congo want to be there, but they got a lot of work to do. As Burkina Faso, Senegal, they look set. In fact, they are both there. They cannot be caught by Burundi or Malawi. So these are the next round of games, guys, and there's some absolute crackers in store. So sit back, hold tight, and away we go. Alrighty then, folks, starting at the top of the shop, there we go, Liberia, taking on Togo, coming at you, the Samuel Kenyon Doe Sports Complex. That's coming at you this coming match day in a very stacked out, packed agenda, coming at you 11th of 11th 2024. Liberia coming at you 4th in the table. That's, of course, over in Group E, up against the Togo side, who's sitting in 3rd in the table, with both sides looking for a W. It's been a while, guys. Liberia, just one win in the last 6. They're on 33% form for them right now. Togo, without a win in the last 6. Now, these two countries have played 4 times since 2005. Nothing for Libya, 2 for Togo, and there's been 2 draws, of course, including a draw last time they played back in September 2024. That was in the reverse fixture way back in matchday number 1. 1-1 it was there. The last time there was a victory was all the way back in June 2015, where Togo picked up a 2-1 win over Liberia on this one. Liberia on the back of that 2-1 loss to Equatorial Guinea. Togo also losing Algeria in this match, their last match, should we say. Got no odds for all of these games, so we're all going for our gusto, and I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw right here, right now, which of course continues the trend. It will make it 3 draws on the bounce in this successive match. Next up, it is Chad up against Sierra Leone. Now, this match actually will take place over in the Ivory Coast. It's coming at you also on the 11th of November, or around about then anyway. Of course, Chad coming into this 4th in the table, just 2 points thus far in Group G, up against Sierra Leone, who sit 3rd in the table with 4 points thus far in this competition. Coming at you, they've played 3 times since 2015, 1 win apiece and 1 draw. That 1 draw was the last time they played, when Sierra Leone hosted Chad back in September on match day number 1. Chad on the back of a 1-0 loss against Zambia. In fact, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't even know. It's at least, they haven't scored a goal in the last 6 games. Up against Sierra Leone, who did pick up a big win over Ivory Coast, and basically they need to win this game to have any chance of getting to the competition themselves. So looking at that, it looks like it's going to be one-way traffic on this one. But I'm going for a surprise. I'm going to cause a bit of a curveball here. 1-0 win. Chad to score not only their first goal, but again, a big fat W over Sierra Leone. Next up, it's Namibia taking on Cameroon. That's right. Bit of a spicy one, this one. But the match will take place over in South Africa, Bafana, as these two sides lock horns over in Group J. That's right. Namibia currently find themselves 4th in the table, 0 points thus far, 5 defeats on the spin. Up against Cameroon, who is sitting top of the pops, 10 points to the name, and I think they're already through to the tournament itself. Now, they have played 3 times since 2023. There's been 1 win apiece and 1 draw between the two sides. The last time they played, it was a 1-0 win for Cameroon back in September 2024. Namibia's one and only victory in recent years against Cameroon was back in March 2023, when, of course, they hosted this very match. However, they're on the back of a 3-1 loss against Zimbabwe. That was the last time around. Cameroon losing to, actually picking up a big fat W over Kenya this past thing. They've only conceded the 1 goal in the last 4. I'd love to see a Namibia victory. Oh, yes, I would. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Cameroon will take it, despite them already being through, and despite them probably playing a rotated squad. 2-0 winners, Cameroon to take the points. Sticking in South Africa, we are going to be taking a look at Madagascar. They're going to be taking on Tunisia. That's coming at you, I believe, at this very venue. Now, this match, of course, I can't even bloody find it. Oh, we're looking at Madagascar against, Tunisia. Yeah, I was blind. I was looking for the wrong one. There it is. On the 14th of November. Now, that's right. They played twice since 2019. 2 wins out of 2 for Tunisia, who coming into this, they are top of the pops over in Group A with 7 points to the name. Still got a little bit of work to do. Madagascar are all the way down to 4th. Winless in 5, with just 2 points to the name in their qualification phase. They did play each other in the reverse fixture when Tunisia were the hosts back in September. It was a 1-0 win for Tunisia. And of course, they pick up back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets against Madagascar when they played in recent matches. Madagascar, though, did lose to Gambia most recently. Tunisia could only draw against Comoros last time around. But I don't think they'll draw this one. I think they'll win this. Going to go with a Tunisia 3-1 win against Madagascar over in Joburg. Meanwhile, we're staying in South Africa, and it's off to Bloemfontein as Lesotho take on Central African Republic, of course, over in Group B. It's going to be at the Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein, with Lesotho, bottom of the pile. That's over in Group B with just 1 point to the name. The Central African Republic, though, sitting in 3rd with 3 points, gives them both opportunities for the big fat W. They have played the 1 time. It was the reverse fixture back in September. 3-1 winners it was for Central African Republic. Can they do the double of Lesotho? They're looking for it. Lesotho on the back of a 2-0 loss against Gabon. 3 games now without a goal for them. Up against the Central African Republic. Also 3 games without a goal. I think we know where we're going with this one, don't we? Taking place over in South Africa. Coin flip, I would imagine here, but I'm going to go with a draw here. I'm going to go with a 1-1, but realistically, it looks like a 0-0. Next up, it is Rwanda taking on Libya, coming at you over in Rwanda. That match also taking place on the 14th of November at the Amahoro Stadium in Kigali. Rwanda sitting in third in the table with just 5 points to the name. That's over in Group D. Up against Libya, they are bottom with just 1 point to the name in 25% form for them coming at you. They played 4 times, these two nations, since 2015. Rwanda with 0 wins, Libya with 3, and there's been 1 draw between the two sides. That 1 draw was the reverse fixture back in September when these two sides locked horns in the opening round of games. Rwanda with a big 2-1 win over Benin. Big win that was. Libya, of course, against Nigeria was postponed. I'm not too sure if and when that game will ever be played. So interesting scenario there. Of course, coming at you at the Amahoro National Stadium in Rwanda, going to be 1 winner here, and that'll be the hosts, Rwanda, taking the W to make it back-to-back wins for them, and maybe, just maybe, give them hope to qualify for the tournament itself. Meanwhile, we head back over to the Ivory Coast as Benin will host. They will host Nigeria coming at you. I think this is on the 11th of November. That's right. Of course, a neutral venue. Benin, though, sitting second at the table with 6 points to the name, 4 wins and 2 defeats in the last 6. Up against Nigeria, also on 67% form. However, unbeaten in the last 4. They top the table with 10 points. Benin are second with 6 points. Now, they've played 7 times, these two nations, since 2004. 1 win for Benin, 6 wins for Nigeria. There's been 0 draws. The reverse fixture on match day number 1, 3-0 winners. It was for Nigeria back in September 2024. The Nigerians, again, was postponed against Libya last time around. Benin losing to Rwanda, which caused a bit of a surprise in their last match. Of course, the last time Benin were hosts, that was against Rwanda. They did win that game, but I don't think they'll win this one. I think Nigeria and the Super Eagles will have too much quality. I think they're already through. Yeah, big win for Nigeria to really dent Benin's hopes over in Group D. Next up, Equatorial Guinea take on Algeria coming at you this coming match day, coming at you on the 11th of November as well, the Malabo Stadium. Equatorial Guinea currently find themselves second in the chart, so that's over in Group E, up against Algeria, who topped the pops with 12 points out of a possible 12. They won 5 of the bouts of Algeria, and of course these two nations have played twice since 2022, 1 but apiece. Of course, with the most recent match being the reverse fixture in September, it was a 2-0 win for Algeria. Equatorial Guinea, though, do boast a 1-0 win against Algeria back in January 2022 in the AFCON. It was a 1-0 win, a big win it was as well. I think Algeria was shit that tournament, I remember it. Meanwhile, Algeria on the back of successive wins, like I said, 1-0 winners over Togo most recently. Equatorial Guinea with back-to-back wins, beating Liberia double bubble, both home and away. This match taking place in Equatorial Guinea. It will prove to be a tough old game. I think Algeria, despite them already being through to the next round, they will win this one also. 2-0 win to, again, cause a bit of a problem over in Group E for Equatorial Guinea. Next up is Nigeria up against Sudan. That's right, coming out on November the 11th. Now, I don't know where this game is actually being played, so we may or may not have a graphic for this, probably not. But anyway, Nigeria coming into this on the back of 8% form for them right now. They are bottom of the pile with just 1 point out of a possible 12. Up against Sudan, sitting in second, 7 points to the name. Now, these two nations did play the reverse fixture when Sudan were the hosts back on match day number 1. It was a 1-0 win for Sudan, who coming into this on the back of a 2-0 win over Ghana, who have just been absolutely woeful this qualification phase, but still have an outside chance to go through. Or do they? I don't even know if they do have a chance, because basically I think Nigeria have to win this game, or at least take a point off of Sudan. Anyway, Sudan on the back of that 2-0 win over Ghana. Angola did beat Nigeria last time around to make it back-to-back games without a goal. In fact, Nigeria have only scored 1 goal this whole time, and that was against Ghana when they hosted them in the campaign. Group F is, of course, the group here. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards a draw. But realistically, I think Sudan should have the edge to make it, and of course, a win for Sudan will put them through to the AFCON tournament itself. From one Sudan to another, we are going to the Juba Stadium over in South Sudan as they take on Congo, that's right, coming at you on November the 11th in Group K. South Sudan, though, 0 points for them right now. They're on 8% form coming at you over the last 6. Up against Congo, who sit third with 4 points to their name. Now, they have played 3 times, these two nations, since 2023. 1 win for South Sudan, 2 wins for Congo, and there's been 0 draws. The last match they played was the reverse fixture back in September. It was a 1-0 win for Congo. That was back, of course, in the opening round. The last time when South Sudan hosted this match, it was another 1-0 win for Congo, who got back-to-back clean sheets against their opposition. Congo on the back of that draw against South Africa. Meanwhile, South Sudan losing to Uganda most recently over in Group K. Going to go, difficult one there. I'm going to back Congo to get the W 2-1 win. That'll put them on 7 points. Maybe, just maybe, they have a chance to get through to the tournament but we'll see what happens in the final round of games. Next up, we head back over to the Ivory Coast as Burundi will take on Malawi at a neutral venue. Burundi currently find themselves in third place with just 3 points to them. Remember against Malawi, who are all the way down to fourth place with 0 points thus far in their group, which is Group L. Now, they played the one time, the reverse fixture. It was a 3-2 win for Burundi. I was back in the opening round back in September. Burundi coming into it on the back of that 2-0 loss to Burkina Faso. They've only scored the 1 goal in the last 3 matches. Meanwhile, Malawi, on the back of that 1-0 loss against Senegal, also 1 goal in the last 3 matches. Tough one to call here. Both sides looking for wins, both sides needing some points. And I think I've gone Burundi here. Yeah, 2-1 winners to make it their second win. But realistically, it looks a long shot for them to qualify for the AFCON itself. Next up, we head over to Mali as Burkina Faso. They'll take on Senegal coming at you over in Group L. That's right, Burkina Faso. They're 67% form for them right now. They are top of the bloody points with 10 points up against Senegal, who are second with also 10 points. Now, these two nations have played 5 times since 2004. Nothing for Burkina Faso, 1 win for Senegal. There's been 4 draws between the two nations. Of course, last time they played, it was a reverse fixture in match number 1. A 1-1 draw it was when Senegal were the hosts. Senegal, of course, beating Burkina Faso in the semi-final stages of the AFCON back in February 2022. Senegal, though, on the back of a 1-0 win over Malawi. That's 1, 2, 3 clean sheets on the bounce. Burkina Faso not been that airtight at the back, but 3 wins on the bounce have got them in prime time and scoring a buttload of goals. They've scored, 9 goals in the last 3 games combined. Tricky one, this one. Of course, both sides are through, I would imagine, to the AFCON itself. But I think seeding is crucial. And I think Burkina Faso will get another draw here against Senegal to put themselves as an outside force for the actual title, maybe go one better than the semi-finals next time around. Next up, we go to the Gambia as they take on Comoros coming at you this coming, is it November the 11th as well? The Gambia, where is it? I can't even see it. They're taking on Comoros. It's there somewhere. Where the blood area is. It's at the top of the shop right there, coming out November 11th. The Gambia, Baku's Independent Stadium. Now, these two nations have played just the one time. And we'll talk about that shortly. Gambia are in third right now, 5 points to the name. Up against Comoros, who are second, 6 points to the name. Quite tight between these two sides. In fact, it all probably rides on this game. The reverse fixture was a 1-1 draw back in September 2024. Gambia on 50% form for them right now. 2 wins, 2 defeats, and 2 draws over the last 6. Comoros unbeaten in the last 4, however, drawn 3 of the last 4, including the last match they played, which was against Tunisia back in October. Gambia, though, picking up a 1-0 win over Madagascar. That's their first and only win thus far. Can they make it back-to-back wins? Coming at you on their own turf? I think so. I think they'll get it. 1-0 winners over Comoros, which could be vital in their quest to make it into another African Cup of Nations tournament. Next up, we go to Gabon as they host Morocco over in Group B. Gabon sitting in second right now, 7 points to their name. Just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Morocco side, who are top of the bloody pops, already qualified and have won 6 on the bounce, if not more than that. They've played 10 times since 2009. Get this, 4 wins to Gabon, 2 wins, just 2 wins for Morocco. There's been 4 draws. However, the reverse fixture back on match number 1 was a 4-1 win for Morocco, as they, of course, took no pity on their opposition. Meanwhile, Gabon's last victory was a 3-2 win over Morocco back in October 2019. It was a friendly, and they're coming into this on the back of a 2-0 win over Lesotho to make it 3 clean sheets on the bounce. The only time they conceded goals, they shipped 4 against Morocco on the opening game. Meanwhile, speaking of Morocco, they've yet to concede a goal in the last 3 either. The only time they conceded a goal was also in the reverse fixture when these two sides locked horns back in September. Should only be 1 winner, though. Of course, Morocco are different quality. Going to go with a 3-1 win, despite the game being in Gabon. Morocco would make it another win to make it 5 on the bounce. Meanwhile, we head over to Botswana now as they take on Mauritania, of course, over in their respective group. Of course, also on November the 11th. When I say November, it's probably the 15th of November, according to my data. Although November 11th nonsense is probably, wrong. So correct me if I'm wrong. But regardless, Botswana coming in second with 6 points to the name. Back-to-back wins for them. Up against Mauritania, who were at the AFCON last time, but they've just picked up 1 win over the last 4 matches. They sit in 4th right now, but a win would do them absolutely the world of good. Up against the Botswana side, who've have played these two nations 3 times since 2017, and Botswana have lost all 3, including the reverse fixture when Mauritania beat Botswana back in September the 7th. It's actually been, like I said, 3 wins on the bounce. Just 1 goal conceded, Mauritania against Botswana. That's back in November 2018. Botswana, they're picking up a 1 win over Cape Verde. Back-to-back wins over them. Of course, can they do it? A win here would put them right in command with Egypt waiting in their wings. Of course, Mauritania got Cape Verde as well. So a win here would be absolutely monumental for Botswana coming at you in this one. They only narrowly lost to Egypt on this. Tricky one. Am I going away? I'm going to go with a draw, which I don't know. It might not be enough for Botswana because they got Egypt waiting in the wings. Botswana got Cape Verde, which they could do them over next time around. Speaking of Cape Verde, they've got a bit of a mission impossible up against Egypt. That's right, coming at you. The next round of matches, Cape Verde sitting in third right now with 3 points to name up against Egypt, who are top of the pops, winning 4 on the bloody bounce. Coming at you at the National Stadium over in Cape Verde. Played twice since 2024. The reverse fixture was the last match when it was a win for Egypt back in September the 6th. 3-0 win as it was. However, they did play in the AFCON itself, and it was a 2-2 draw back in January this year. Cape Verde, though, on the back-to-back games without a goal, losing both to Botswana, both home and away. Egypt on the back of 4 successive wins in this competition. They haven't even conceded a goal in this competition. I think that will continue in this game. When I say I think they'll continue, I think they will concede a goal against Cape Verde. Only with a 2-1 win for Egypt on the road, but they're already through. They're going to take it easy, and it might even be a bit of a rotated team for this match. Next up, we head over to Angola as they take on Ghana, who are on the brink of elimination here. They might not even make the tournament itself. Coming at you as well. 4 times they've played since 2010. 1 for Angola, 2 for Ghana. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. However, Angola are top of the bloody pops, of course, winning 4 on the bounce. But if you look at their form, they've won at least 6 games on the bounce. So up against a Ghanaian side, they sit third with just 2 points in the campaign. And of course, without a win in the last 4. They've got to get second. And right now, that's looking mission impossible with Angola standing in the way, who are looking very much a force to be reckoned with. Now, the last time they played was the reverse fixture. 1-0 win as it was for Angola. Of course, Ghana's last victory against them was back in March 2023 when the two sides played in the last AFCON qualifiers. Angola on the back of a 1-0 win over Nigeria. Just 1 goal conceded in the last 4 up against a Ghanaian side who haven't scored a goal in the last 2, and they only scored 1 goal in this whole qualification phase. That was in a draw against Nigeria. What's gone wrong with Ghana here? I don't know. Do I think they'll win? No, I think it's the first time I backed against them. Angola look too good. They might score a goal, though, but Angola already through. They're cruising on an easy street. And looks like Ghana are not going to go to the African Cup of Nations. Next up, we go to Zambia Zambia next, as they take on Ivory Coast, coming at you on the 15th of November at the Levi Massawana Stadium. Zambia, currently 42% form for them right now. Second to the table with 7 points to the name. Up against Ivory Coast, they sit top with 9 points to the name. Zambia can actually top this group if they get the W over Ivory Coast, who did lose their last match. They played 7 times, these two countries, since 2009. 4 wins for Zambia. What am I doing? Zambia. 3 wins for Ivory Coast, and there's been 0 draws between the two sides. Last time they played, it was a 2-0 win for Ivory Coast. That was in match day number 1 back in September. Zambia's last victory against Ivory Coast. In fact, remember, they've got 4 of the 7. That was back in June 2023. This ain't out of the question here, guys. It ain't out of the question. Zambia on the back of a 1-0 win over Chad. It's back-to-back clean sheets for them. Ivory Coast did lose to Sierra Leone last time around, which was a bit of a shock. Zambia got a chance here. Got a real good chance in this game up against an Ivory Coast side who are looking to bounce back and fast. They're not there yet, Ivory Coast, but I think they will get there in the end. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw this time around over in Zambia. Next up, we head over to Mozambique as they take on Mali. That's right, coming at you. This coming match as well. Where is it? Mozambique, Mali on the 15th of November. Confirmed, that is right. Mozambique sit top of the pops right now with 8 points out of a possible 12. Up against Mali, who was second, also on 8 points out of a possible 12. Now, these two countries have played twice since 2014. 1 for Mali, nothing for Mozambique, but there's been 1 draw between the two sides. That 1 draw, the reverse fixture back in September. Oh yes, it was a 1-1 draw way back when. Mozambique on the back of a 3-0 win over Eswatini. That was in the last match. Meanwhile, Mali could only draw against Guinea-Bissau most recently with a 0-0. In fact, Mali been airtight at the back. Just conceded the 1 goal in the last 3. Sorry, the 1 goal in the last 4. So 3 clean sheets on the spin for Mali. But Mozambique are a force these days, and they've been ain't no slouches. Tricky one though at Mozambique. Going to go with a 0-0 draw, which does them no harm Of course, both seem set to make the tournament itself, and it keeps Mozambique top of the bloody pops. Next up, it is Eswatini up against Guinea-Bissau. Now, this match played in a neutral venue, and that will be over in South Africa. Eswatini coming at you all the way into Group I. They're down in 4th place with just 1 point thus far. Guinea-Bissau are in 3rd with 4 points thus far, but winless in the last 3. Now, they have played 3 times, these two clubs, or when I say clubs, I mean countries, since 2019. 3 wins out of 3 for Guinea-Bissau, including the reverse fixture back in September. It was a 1-0 win for Guinea-Bissau. They've only conceded the 1 goal against them in those last 3 matches. Now, Guinea-Bissau on the back of a 0-0 draw against Mali, but it's been back-to-back games without a goal for Guinea-Bissau. Meanwhile, Eswatini on the back of that 3-0 drubbing by Mozambique. They've only scored the 1 goal thus far in the 4 games. But of course, I've accumulated just the 1 point as well. Yep, should be one winner here, and that should be Guinea-Bissau going over the 2-1 win for them. It will give them a big old boost to try to maintain their chances to qualify for the AFCON itself. And we return to South Africa once again as Zimbabwe take on my boys Kenya. That's right, coming at you over in Group J. Zimbabwe sits 2nd right now, 8 points to the name, unbeaten in the last 4, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Kenya, back-to-back defeats for them. It doesn't look good for Kenya right now. They're played 5 times since 2008. The form does, the recent records, go for Kenya. They've won 3 out of the past 5, and they haven't even lost in the last 5 against Zimbabwe. The reverse fixture was a 0-0 draw in Kenya, or when Kenya hosted back in September, and Zimbabwe, they've only conceded 1 goal against Zimbabwe over the last 5. However, Kenya on the back of that 1-0 loss to Cameroon, Zimbabwe the big 3-1 win over Namibia most recently. Kenya do take on Namibia, who have been a bit toothless thus far. If they draw this game, will it be enough? No, they need to win this game realistically if they're gonna cause a bit of a problem, because Zimbabwe will take on Cameroon in the last game. So it's win or bust for Kenya on this. I don't see it happening. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win shocker for Zimbabwe, but I would love it to see if Kenya would cause an upset and get the W over Zimbabwe. Next up, we head over to Uganda now as they take on South Africa, Bafana over in Group K. That's right, Uganda sit top of the bloody pops with 10 points out of a possible 12. Just 1 defeat in the last 6 against them. Up against South Africa, they sit 2nd with 8 points to the name, also unbeaten in the last 6. Now, they have played 4 times since 2004. 3 wins for South Africa, 1 draw. There's nothing for Uganda. They did draw the last time they played, which was the reverse fixture back in September. 2-2 thriller it was. There's been plenty of goals in the last 2 games between these two sides. They've scored 9 goals between both countries in the last 2 fixtures they have played. South Africa on the back of that draw against Congo. Uganda picking up a big important win over South Sudan. Both look set to qualify for the tournament, but it's not all done and dusted just yet. Going with Bafana here to get the point, 1-1 against Uganda, to give them an edge. And very much a final, I think, at that point should just about do it to secure both Uganda and South Africa's progress to the tournament. Meanwhile, over in, where are we going here? Congo, it is this Congo? We're going the right place? We are going the right place. It's Ethiopia taking on Tanzania. That's coming at you on the 16th of November. Ethiopia coming at you without a win in the last 6 matches. They sit 4th with just 1 point over in Group H. Tanzania sit 3rd with 4 points to the name. Back-to-back defeats. Now, they did play each other back in September. It was a 0-0 draw. Tanzania, though, on the back of a 2-0 loss to DR Congo, and Ethiopia losing to Guinea most recently. In fact, Ethiopia just the 1 goal scored over the last 4 matches. Meanwhile, their opposition, Tanzania, back-to-back games without a goal themselves. In fact, 3 of the last 4 games they played in this qualifiers, they haven't scored a goal. But this is a good chance for them to get the W and maybe give themselves an outside chance to get through to the tournament itself. It's coming at you over in Congo, neutral venue here. I'm going to go with a shock here. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Ethiopia. Do I know what I'm talking about? Or is this going to be a bit of a surprise? We'll take a look. Of course, let me know your thoughts down below. And then finally, folks, yet another neutral venue as Guinea will take on, who are they taking on? Democratic Republic of Congo, coming at you at the Ivory Coast. They played 6 times, these 2 nations, since 2004. 1 for Guinea, 5 for DR Congo. There's been no draws thus far. Guinea sits 2nd with 6 points to the name. They're on 50% form for them over the last 6. DR Congo sit top with 12 points to them. They've won 5 on the bloody bounce, including a 1-0 win in the reverse fixture back in September 2024. Now, they did play in the AFCON Nations knockouts back in 2024. 3-1 winners it was for DR Congo, who have got a good streak against their opposition. DR Congo picking up a 2-0 win over Tanzania. 1, 2, 3, 4 clean sheets. They haven't conceded a goal thus far in this competition. Meanwhile, Guinea, on the back of successive wins, scoring 7 goals in the last 2 games combined. This is absolutely probably dazzler to end our predictions this time around over in Group H. But I'm going to go 2-2 thriller. Plenty of goals there, plenty of drama over in a neutral venue. That is the Ivory Coast. That, my friends, completes my picks. Make sure you get your own picks in as well as we look forward to those next round of games, which of course complete the AFCON qualifiers themselves. Who will go through, who will go home? We'll take a look at all of that when we return next time around. But until then, we're done.